First Contact Protocol. The universe had a strange way of teaching humility. Some species learned it through natural disasters, others through evolutionary bottlenecks. The Corvan Dominion, however, would learn it from a species that still found entertainment in watching people fall down in videos. Captain Ilara Voss stood at the observation deck of Earth Defense Initiative's underground command center, her reflection superimposed over the holographic display of Earth's orbital space. She took a slow sip of coffee from her chipped mug, emblazoned with "World's OKest Diplomat," a gift from her team after the Proxima incident. The liquid was cold and bitter, much like the situation developing 400 kilometers above. "They've established geosynchronous orbit over every major population center," reported Commander Chen, his fingers dancing across the control panel. 117 vessels, each approximately 3 kilometers in length. Energy readings suggest weapons capabilities beyond anything in our public database. Voss nodded. "And our actual database." Chen allowed himself a slight smile. "Their technology appears to be Kardashev type II. Level C impressive, but predictable." "The standard doomsday package, then," said Voss. "Energy weapons, gravity manipulation, probably some flashy planet cracker for dramatic effect." These Corvans certainly follow the invasion playbook to the letter. The Corvan Dominion had appeared 7 days ago at the edge of the solar system. Their approach had been methodical, their message simple: surrender or extinction. What they didn't know, what Earth had managed to keep secret for the last 70 years, was that humanity had been preparing for this moment since detecting the first alien probe in 2082. "They're broadcasting," announced Lieutenant Catry from Communications. "All frequencies, all languages. They've even adapted to our entertainment formats. The signal is embedding itself into streaming services." "How thoughtful," Voss muttered. "Put it through." The central display flickered, revealing a being that resembled a nightmare version of a praying mantis crossed with a jellyfish. Its exoskeleton gleamed with what appeared to be living metal, and multiple eyes arranged in concentric circles pulsed with inner light. "People of Earth," it began, voice resonating with artificial harmonics designed to inspire fear. "I am Grand Imperator Scaval of the Corvan Dominion. Your planet has been selected for integration into our collective. Your resources will serve the greater glory of the Dominion. Your genetic material will enhance our breeding programs. Your cultural artifacts will be preserved in our memory banks." Voss sipped her coffee again, unimpressed. "You have 6 Earth hours to present your world leaders for subjugation protocols. Resistance is." The alien paused dramatically. "Inadvisable. We have studied your species thoroughly. We understand your limitations. Your most advanced weapons cannot penetrate our defensive fields. Your digital systems are primitive and accessible to our infiltration algorithms. Your biological vulnerabilities are cataloged and exploitable." The creature's mandibles clicked in what might have been its species' version of a smug smile. "To demonstrate our resolve, we will now eliminate a small, uninhabited island in your southern ocean." A flash appeared on the tactical display as an energy beam lanced down from one of the Corvan vessels, vaporizing a remote island in the South Pacific. "That was Baker Island," Chen said quietly. "Uninhabited, as they claimed. They'd done their homework. Or so they think," Voss replied. She set down her coffee mug and straightened her uniform. "Lieutenant Catry, prepare a response channel. Commander Chen, activate Protocol Pandora. Authorization Voss Delta 6 Echo." "Protocol Pandora." Chen's eyebrows shot up. "Are you sure, Captain? We've never field-tested those systems against actual alien technology." Voss smiled, an expression that never quite reached her eyes. "The Corvans have given us a 6-hour deadline. That's 5 hours and 55 minutes more than I need. Besides, I'm curious to see if our xenopsychology division got their behavioral predictions right." The command center hummed with activity as hidden systems, developed over decades of reverse engineering alien technology from crashed scout ships and captured probes, came online. "Channel ready, Captain," reported Catry. Excellent. Voss stepped onto the transmission platform. Let's introduce ourselves properly. The Grand Imperator of the Corvan Dominion was conducting a detailed analysis of Earth's military capabilities when his command console chimed with an incoming transmission. The humans are responding, reported Sub-Commander Thrix. They are requesting direct communication. Already, Skval's feeding tentacles twitched with anticipation. Their surrender comes sooner than expected. Perhaps they are more rational than our behavioral model suggested. The transmission originates from a previously unidentified facility, Imperator. Our scanners did not detect it during preliminary surveys. That was unusual. The Dominion scanning technology could detect a rodent burrowing beneath the surface of a planet. A hidden facility should have been impossible. Display the transmission, ordered Skval. The command center's holographic field shimmered, revealing a single human female with short dark hair and an expression that Skval's cultural database identified as amused. She wore a simple blue uniform with minimal insignia. "Greetings, Grand Imperator Skval," the human said, her voice disarmingly casual. "I'm Captain Ilara Voss of Earth Defense Initiative. I've been authorized to respond to your proposal." Skval's primary heart pulsed faster. This was not the cowering planetary leader he had expected. "Captain Voss, your rank suggests you are not empowered to negotiate on behalf of your species." The human laughed. The sound triggered warning signals in Skval's instinctual centers. Prey should not laugh when confronted by a predator. "Let's cut through the diplomatic posturing," Voss said. "You're not here to integrate Earth. You're here to strip mine our resources, experiment on our population, and add another conquered world to your collection. Standard procedure for the Corvan Dominion, if our intelligence is correct." Skval's secondary hearts stopped momentarily. Intelligence. The humans had information about the Dominion. Impossible. "Your species is confined to a single star system," he replied, injecting certainty into his voice. "You possess no means of interstellar travel or communication. And yet here I am, addressing you by name and rank." Voss continued, that unnerving smile still in place. "Did you really think we wouldn't notice the scout ships you've been sending for the past 7 decades? Or that we wouldn't capture and study them? Your stealth technology is impressive, but it has vulnerabilities." A chill ran through Skval's neural pathways. The scout ships were designed to self-destruct if compromised. No primitive species should have been able to capture one intact. "You're bluffing," he said, mandibles clicking rapidly. "Your technological level is precisely as our surveys indicated. You still burn hydrocarbons for energy. Your space exploration is limited to chemical propulsion. Your weapons are kinetic and nuclear, easily countered by our defensive fields." "Oh, those." Voss raised an eyebrow. "That's what we wanted you to see. Consider it protective camouflage. Why reveal your true capabilities when you can let potential threats underestimate you? It's a strategy your species should appreciate, given your evolutionary history as ambush predators." Skval's exoskeleton stiffened. The human's knowledge of Corvan evolutionary biology was disturbingly specific. "Enough of this deception," he hissed. "You will surrender your world, or we will begin systematic destruction of your population centers." "I was hoping you'd say something like that." Voss typed something into a console off-screen. "It gives me the opportunity to demonstrate why threatening Earth is the last mistake any species should make. You destroyed one of our uninhabited islands. Allow me to return the favor." Before Skval could respond, alarms blared throughout the command vessel. "Imperator." Sub-Commander Thrix's voice rose to a screech. "Our monitoring station on the human moon. It's gone." "What do you mean, gone?" demanded Skval. The entire installation has been reduced to its component atoms. Our sensors detect a localized distortion in reality at the site." On the transmission, Captain Voss was smiling. "That was a demonstration of what we call a vacuum decay initiator. It creates a small bubble of altered physical constants. Anything caught within simply comes apart at the subatomic level. We've calibrated this one carefully to prevent it from expanding uncontrollably. We're not monsters after all. Xenthari's feeding tentacles writhed in agitation. This is impossible. Your species cannot possess such technology. Can't we? Voss leaned forward. You seem to be operating under some serious misconceptions about humanity, Imperator. Let me clarify a few things. First, we've known about the wider galactic community for decades. Second, we've been preparing for contact, hostile or otherwise, since before I was born. And third, her smile widened, humans have a particular talent for turning other species' technologies against them. A new alarm sounded, this one more urgent. Imperator, our weapons systems are going offline across the fleet, reported Thrix. Something is rewriting our command protocols. How? Skval's voice was nearly a shriek now. Our systems are quantum encrypted. They cannot be accessed externally. Oh, that was simple, said Voss with a shrug. The scout ship we captured included your encryption algorithms. We've had decades to find the Vactors. Your cybersecurity is impressive, but it has a critical flaw. It was designed by beings who think linearly. Humans, as you'll discover, excel at lateral thinking. On the tactical display, Xenthari watched in horror as dozens of his fleet's weapon systems powered down simultaneously. It was impossible. It was unthinkable. It was happening. What do you want? He demanded, his voice distorted by rage and fear. Voss's expression shifted, the smile fading into something colder and infinitely more dangerous. I want you to understand exactly what you've stumbled into, Imperator. Humanity isn't the primitive, helpless species your reconnaissance suggested. We're the species that turned our own planet into a fortress because we assumed the stars were filled with threats. We're the paranoid apes who developed weapons that could destroy our own world, just in case we needed them against each other. Imagine what we've created knowing there are predators like you out there. She leaned back, and for the first time, Xenthari noticed that the human was laughing silently, her shoulders shaking with the effort of containing her amusement, even as his crew was screaming in panic around him. And Imperator, she added, almost as an afterthought, we're just getting started. Calculated extinction. Grand Imperator Xenthari's command center had descended into controlled chaos. Warning signals flashed across every console as technicians frantically attempted to restore control over the fleet's primary systems. The human, Captain Voss, remained on the main display, watching the panic with an expression that the Corvin Cultural Database unhelpfully identified as bemused. Restore weapons control. Xenthari shrieked at his technology officers. Activate secondary command protocols. Purge all systems. Attempting, Imperator, replied Chief Technologist Mazurks, her manipulator appendages flying across the bionic interface. But the human infiltration is adaptive. It anticipates our countermeasures before we implement them. Xenthari turned back to the transmission. This aggression will not stand, human. The Dominion spans 17 star systems. We have subjugated species far more advanced than yours. This temporary advantage will not save you. Temporary. Voss raised an eyebrow. I don't think you're grasping the situation, Imperator. We're not fighting for an advantage. We're demonstrating why attacking Earth was fundamentally irrational. On a secondary display, Xenthari watched as one of his destroyers suddenly broke formation, its engines firing at full capacity as it accelerated toward deep space. Vessel Kether 9 has been compromised, reported Fleet Coordinator Ziv. All crew communications have ceased. The ship appears to be under external control. That's impossible, hissed Xenthari. Our propulsion systems can't be accessed through the command network. They can't be accessed through your command network, corrected Voss. But we're not using your network anymore. We've established direct quantum entanglement links with each of your vessels, a technology we reverse-engineered from your scout ships, with some improvements of our own. Another alarm sounded, this one unfamiliar even to Xenthari's experienced hearing. Multiple unknown vessels detected at the system's edge. announced sensor operator clicks. They appear to be using Corvin identification codes, but the vessel configurations are unknown. Display, ordered Skval, his feeding tentacles writhing with increased agitation. The tactical hologram expanded, showing dozens of ships emerging from faster-than-light travel. Their design was unlike anything in the Dominion's database, angular where Corvin ships were curved, gleaming with a metal that seemed to absorb rather than reflect light. "Ah, right on schedule," said Voss, checking a device on her wrist. "Allow me to introduce some friends who've been eager to meet the Corvin Dominion. They represent species from systems how shall I put this delicately? Systems you've earmarked for future conquest." The transmission split into multiple feeds, showing a variety of alien beings. Skval recognized several: the crystalline Farkai, the amorphous Blue Dax, even a representative of the supposedly extinct Varin collective. "Impossible," whispered Skval. "The Varin were eradicated 3 cycles ago. Their system was cleansed. Reports of their extinction were exaggerated," replied Voss. "Earth has been providing sanctuary to refugees from Dominion aggression for decades. They've been quite helpful in developing our defensive capabilities, and understandably motivated to see your expansion checked. You claim to defend these species, yet you threaten us with extinction-level technology," Skval countered, desperate to regain control of the encounter. "Your moral posturing is hypocritical." Voss's expression hardened. "Let me be clear, Imperator. We don't want to destroy your species. Unlike the Dominion, Earth doesn't practice genocide as a matter of policy. What we're demonstrating is capability, not intent." As if to emphasize her point, another Corvin vessel suddenly powered down completely, its lights extinguishing as it drifted helplessly in orbit. "That was your flagship's sister ship," Voss explained. "We've just introduced a cascading failure in its power distribution network. The crew will survive on emergency life support for approximately 26 hours. Plenty of time for evacuation, if you make the right decisions." Skval felt his exoskeleton constrict around his vital organs, the Corvin physiological response to extreme stress. "What do you want?" "I want you to understand something fundamental about humanity, Imperator." Voss leaned forward, her voice dropping to a near whisper that somehow seemed more threatening than any shout. "Throughout our history, we've faced extinction-level threats. Asteroids, climate shifts, our own nuclear weapons, plagues that killed millions. Each time, we survived not through overwhelming force, but through adaptation, cooperation, and ruthless innovation." She paused, letting the words sink in. "When we detected your scout ships decades ago, we didn't panic. We didn't waste resources on massive weapons platforms or futile attempts at planetary shields. Instead, we studied you. We learned your weaknesses. We prepared specific countermeasures for your specific technologies. And we reached out to others who had reason to fear the Dominion." The tactical display updated, showing the unknown vessels now moving to surround the Corvin fleet. "This is your only warning, Imperator Skval," Voss continued. "The Corvin Dominion will immediately withdraw from Earth space. You will acknowledge Earth and its colonies as sovereign and off-limits to Dominion expansion. You will release any captive representatives of species currently under Earth's protection. Failure to comply with any of these terms will result in the complete technological collapse of the Dominion. You threaten our entire civilization." Skval's voice rose in pitch. "Based on what power?" "Based on this." Voss nodded to someone off-screen. Simultaneously, across the Corvin fleet, the environmental systems on every vessel reset. Gravity fluctuated. Atmospheric composition temporarily shifted. Lighting systems cycled through emergency protocols. All lasted only seconds, but the message was clear. Every system, even the most basic life support, was vulnerable. "We're inside everything, Imperator," Voss said quietly. "Your weapons, your engines, your communication networks, the augmentation implants your officers use, the environmental systems keeping your crew alive. We could end your biological functions with a thought. Instead, we're offering terms. For the first time in his long career as a conqueror, Xenthari felt something beyond fear. It was a sensation the Corvan language had no word for, but humans called it humility. Why? He finally asked. If you possess such power, why not simply destroy us? Voss smiled, but this time the expression held something new, a glimmer of hope. Because extinction is easy, Imperator. Coexistence is the real challenge. Humanity has no interest in replacing one galactic bully with another. We're offering you something your species has never considered. The opportunity to evolve beyond conquest. She gestured to the representatives of the other species still visible on the divided screen. These civilizations have joined what we call the Mutual Defense Compact. Member species retain their sovereignty but commit to collective security. The compact has room for the Corvan Dominion, not as conquerors, but as equals. Xenthari's neural pathways buzzed with conflicting impulses. The predator in him screamed to fight, to never submit. But a deeper intelligence, the same that had built the Dominion, recognized the tactical reality. They were outmatched in ways their conquest protocols had never anticipated. The Dominion Council will never accept terms dictated by a previously unknown species, he said, his voice steadier than he felt. They will when you show them this recording, replied Voss, and when you explain the alternatives. She paused. Consider your legacy, Imperator. Will you be remembered as the leader who nearly destroyed your civilization through pride, or as the visionary who guided the Dominion into a new era of cooperation? Around Xenthari, his command staff had fallen silent, watching for his response. Even Sub-Commander Thrix, always eager for conquest, seemed subdued. I will. Convey your terms to the Council, Xenthari finally said, each word feeling like acid in his speech organs. Excellent. Voss's expression brightened. As a gesture of good faith, we're returning control of your non-weapon systems now. Your fleet will retain enough function to return to Corvan space. A representative of the compact will contact you in 14 standard cycles to begin formal negotiations. The transmission flickered as various alarms across the command center suddenly silenced. Diagnostic displays showed critical systems coming back online, though weapons remained dormant. One last thing, Imperator, Voss added, her voice now almost gentle. The universe is larger and stranger than either of our species can fully comprehend. There are threats out there that would consume both humans and Corvans without distinction. Perhaps in time, we'll face them together, rather than wasting resources fighting each other. With that, the transmission ended, leaving Xenthari staring at the blue-green planet that had so thoroughly upended his understanding of the cosmic order. Orders, Imperator? Asked Sub-Commander Thrix tentatively. Xenthari's gaze remained fixed on Earth, a world his species had dismissed as primitive, only to find it was anything but. His feeding tentacles finally stilled as resolution formed in his complex mind. Set course for the homeworld, he commanded, and prepare a full report for the Council. It seems the Dominion has much to learn about the art of survival from these humans. As the Corvan fleet began its withdrawal from Earth orbit, Captain Ilara Voss watched from the observation deck of the underground command center. She took a final sip from her now empty coffee mug, set it down, and allowed herself a genuine smile. Well, that's one way to make first contact, remarked Commander Chen, joining her at the window. It won't be the last, Voss replied. But hopefully, the next visitors will have heard about what happened to the Corvans. A reputation can be a powerful deterrent, agreed Chen. Voss nodded. And an opportunity. The galaxy is about to discover something important about humanity. What's that, Captain? We're much better at making allies than enemies, she said, watching the stars where the Corvan fleet had been. But we're prepared for either.